Hello, everyone. Hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are. And it's so nice to welcome us again to another edition of the Redefined Teens and Youth Skills Conference. And today is day two of our graphic design training. Let me know if you can hear me and if you are online. Let me know if you can hear and see me well so that we start immediately. Yesterday we went through our graphic design, we went through the fundamentals, we went through all the theory aspects, the about how to choose the right backgrounds, how to get right pictures, how to come about your texture, your contrast, the alignment, and every other thing, all other thing you need to know about coming up with an awesome design. So today we are going to the practical aspect and we are designing live. So make sure that you put into notes everything we saw yesterday. And if you have questions, please do well to pass them across in the comment section. Okay. Yesterday we had a very nice time, and today is definitely going to be nothing short of that. I just want to confirm that we had a very nice time, and today is definitely going to be not okay. Sorry about that. And yeah, I think it's actually okay at the end. So right now we are going to start because of our time. And then I'm going to invite our speaker again. And I'm going to read his profile. I'm going to read his profile again and we start. Okay. Yeah. So who is Apotierioluwa Owoade? Apotierioluwa Owoade is a multilingual content creator and graphics designer whose aim is to ensure the creation of top-notch designs in a world where a lot of people are concerned with money rather than solving problems. Excellence in design and the delivery of premium services is what drives him, along with his capacity to learn and be taught. His hobbies include graphic design, gaming, watching anime, and studying the scriptures. And do us following too on Instagram at Band Business, as well as Facebook and Twitter at Apotierioluwa. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me again today to our platform. So, our now graphic design star Apotierioluwa.
Um, Good evening,
Yes,
everybody. I hope we can all hear me. Thank you very much for the
yes,
opportunity to be in this program. Thank you for sticking with me since yesterday, and I hope we have all had a nice time learning from each other, and I equally hope that we're going to have a nice time learning today as well. So today we're going to be doing a live design, and I would just like to let us know before we comment that we are making use of Canva, right? Canva is our main design platform, and we want I would very much like you can always you can contact you can always contact the sponsors, or should I say contact Refined Teens. I guess the video will be made available in case you can't follow live on live now in this live session. So today we are going to be making the design for um we're going to be making a flyer, a social media design, right? And today we are going to be discussing um you know how we're going to be implementing the use of all of the things that we have learned so far, the things that we have learned yesterday. all the fundamentals of graphics design that we learned yesterday, we're going to be implementing it live in today's session. And I do hope that we're going to learn one thing or the other today. So, this is what we're going to be replicating. This design is what we're going to be replicating. And for us to be able to create this design, what are the things that we're going to need? All right. So first off, we're going to need a cream background, right? We're going to need a cream background, and you're going to need a picture of a nice cream bowl. All right. We're going to be making use of the color code 570818. That's going to be our color um for our design today. It's the same color that I use for our call to action, for the logo, and for the fast delivery here. This is a fictional company, by the way. I came up with it while I was preparing for this event. Designed the logo from the scratch, designed the flyer itself. So the whole concept is fictional. All right. Don't go looking for hot rock ice cream in real life because it's a fictional company. So we're also going to be making use of groovy wavy lines for our background and love pattern. And lastly, we're going to be using this fast delivery. Uh, we're going to be making use of it as well. In addition to the logo, of course, that I already pre-designed, because we might not have enough time to design a logo right now. All right. So we're going to be replicating this with the color code that I already stated, color code 570A18. So this is the color code that we're going to be making use of, 570A18. So if you're following live, please you can get those things. All right. All of the resources I made use of in the design, or should I say, while I was designing this, I got them from Canva. So I didn't need to import anything out of it. Mind you, I'm using Canva Pro, which gives me access to some resources which might be limited to some people. All right. So you can always pay for Canva Pro. There are people um who can arrange for it for you as well. I don't I don't think I know of anyone right now, but Canva Pro is actually quite effective for almost your basic almost all your basic designs. Okay, basic because if you're going to be going for photo manipulation and some other things, you might not be able to do it with Canva. So Canva is for your basic designs, anyways. So we're going to be designing a flyer for um, an ice cream outlet, and let's go. Let's go. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new page. Sorry, my Canva is in French. So you click on this. This says add a new page or create a new page. Okay, so you create a fresh page, which is going to give you a blank canvas. All right, but the blank canvas has already come in the cream background color. So for you to be able to get the cream background color, first off you could type you can type the color code FC F8C 9D3. Okay, so to do that, this is our blank canvas on the right. So I'm going to come to this here. So I'm going to type sorry, let me get the color code once again. F8C 9D3. Okay, so I'm typing F8C 9D3. All right, so there we have it. That's our color. Okay, so done with that. All right, now I'm going to bring in my pattern. if you look very closely, you're gonna see in the background that there's two different patterns, right? The love pattern and I mean in the background, there's the love pattern and the the groovy wavy lines, which I already spoke about. All right, so let's search for the groovy wavy lines, shall we? All right. So what you do is, I'm sorry, it's responding slowly. The network is actually slow today. I'm really sorry about that. So you could type groovy wavy lines. All right. For me, I might not need to type that because I can just come to my recently used and select it from there. But you could also type groovy wavy lines. So type groovy wavy lines. Okay, so you click on groovy wavy lines. It's gonna bring out different colors. The one that we want to make use of is one that is full, okay? And this is it. This is it that we're using. All right, so let me reduce the size of my canvas so that it can be more visible, so that what I'm gonna be doing next is gonna be more visible. So yeah, I click on it. It should manifest on my canvas, which it already has. Okay, so I drag it to the edges to make sure it fills inside my canvas. Okay, but I'm gonna do something else. Okay, I'm gonna reduce the transparency and change the color. Let's give it transparency of 5. All right, so we have transparency 5. And then I'm going to change the color to the color code that we are using, right? Which is the color, what's the color code again? Um, Let me bring this closer to our design so that we can see. We wouldn't need to be traveling, shuttling from one end to the other. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag this right here and put it here. Okay, so I'm dragging it and putting it in between, or should I say beside my design, so that I can see it, so that I can access it easily. All right, so let's let's do that. Let's do that. All right, so sorry it's so slow. The network is really bad. Like, the network is really bad. That's the situation that we are in right now. So and can I just say Canva makes use of internet connection. So if you're going to be using Canva, you're going to need internet connection. It is actually very essential. I think that's the one of the advantages that um applications like Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator have you can do it easily. You can easily work offline in all those other ones, but for Canva you have to be online for it. Okay, now let's go. So we're changing the color of this pattern. Let me close this. Okay, so we're coming here. I'm gonna be showing you how I think I already showed us how to type it. I already have the color in my in this palette already, so I just choose it. But I believe we already showed how to type for a color, right? 570A18, right? So basically you type it here, 570A18, right? That's it. And yeah, so it, you can't see it because I've reduced the transparency, but if I do brighten it, you will see that that's it. Okay, so we have that now, right? So let's reduce the transparency again. Like I said, if not, we're not. It's gonna take up. It's gonna be too heavy. It's gonna have too much weight. Remember yesterday we mentioned weight, right? Um, in our class yesterday, in our session yesterday. So what next are we bringing into it? We're gonna make use of our love pattern now. Now, um, a design is like or should I say, designing is like building a house, right? You have to ensure that um the appropriate things are there. Okay, you have to ensure that the foundation is well laid, because you might have too many layers, and at the end of the day, um you might need to correct something there. That's why it's always good to always start with the layers perfect. Like if you can perfect the layer as much as possible, it would reduce your chances of having to create you know making corrections in the layers later on. Okay, so let's go and look for our love pattern. Once again, sorry about the network. All right, so let's love pattern. Uh, pattern. Okay, we already have it here, so we're clicking on it. So it's gonna bring us the love pattern. I could as well just choose to duplicate the one I already made use of here, but I want to show us how it is to design it from the scratch. All right, so you just look for it. Okay, this is it. Right, so you change the color has to change unless you're using making use of multiple, or there's a specific brand color. For example, it could be black and this other color, maybe. But if it's just one color you're using, I think it's always best to limit the number of colors you use, in a design, so that it too much to be going on in your design at any point. Okay, so we're going to reduce the transparency of this as well. Reduce it to an even 5. Okay, so we have it um, at a 5 right now. Okay, so drag this so it doesn't seem yeah, yeah. So you can send this below or above, whichever one you do choose, actually. So we already have it there. So you can lock it. You can lock it as well. You can lock it as well. So you come here to this um padlock, and then you lock it. So that what that prevents you from doing is it prevents you from moving it, because if you move it, your presets your sets down there might be affected. Okay, so it prevents you from moving it up and down. Okay, so we already have our call to action here, right? And what our call to action entails is it includes our number, email, our Instagram address, right? So we already have it here. So I'm not going to be having to do it from scratch, because that's going to take a lot of time, and we don't want to take a lot of time here. All right. So we have the email address, the Instagram. I don't know if you can see it, right? But this is our call to action. Okay, CTA for short. um is usually in the lower thirds of a design. So what do we mean by lower thirds? Lower thirds is this area, right? This area, this bottom area of the design, where you have where you have things like address, contact list, then the CTA, like I said, like call us or chat with us or something like that. Okay, and they are very important because graphic design is passing a message, right? And if you do not put a call to action, you might just be speaking. You might not necessarily be passing a message. Like, so it's one thing to speak, it's another thing to actually pass the message when you speak. Okay, so what this call to action does is, okay, it says contact us. Okay, so we already have the phone number here, right? And what that does is, when you see this flyer, you know that, okay, you probably, if you want to reach out to us, we have a number. So you're gonna try and reach out to us on that phone number. So it's, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, it's slow. The network is really, 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 really bad. So we also have fast delivery. Okay, we're going to be adding this because nowadays you need, especially for if a restaurant or a something that has to do with food, really being able to deliver fast is essential. Okay, and this is one of the things that you might need to be using in your designs. Okay, so for, you can always type fast delivery in elements as well. It's gonna give you that, actually. It's gonna give you that as well. So fast delivery, all right, it's gonna give you that. It's also an element. It's also an element. So you can always get it. Okay, so even if you're not using this, okay, so this is one I used. I only changed the color. So even if you're not using it, you could always use something else. Okay, so let's say we're choosing to use this instead. Let's give this a try today. Okay, so we change the color as usual, because we want it to be uniformed. All right, so change the color. Now you can reduce it. If you want to reduce it, you can reduce it. If you want to reduce it, it's not compulsory. It's not compulsory that you do, but you could. Um, so we already have that in the design. Okay, so what we're doing is, we want everything to align. Okay, and this is where alignment comes in, right? We talked about alignment yesterday. So we want our designs to be well aligned, well positioned, so that like, those things are on the left, they are on the left, like they remain on the left. Those things are on the right, they remain on the right. We want uniformity. We want it um to be well structured. Okay, you don't want your design to be looking you know all disorganized and, you know um disarranged or rearranged anyways. So pretty much you're going to have to search for most of the elements that we use. Okay, for the ice cream bowl, you can also come here and search for ice cream. But that's gonna, but let's try it. Okay, so ice cream, you search for it as well, and you're gonna get it. Okay, so you search for ice cream. It's gonna give you the bowls. It's gonna give you different ones. It's gonna give you the 3D icons of ice cream. Give you real pictures. Okay, like this one, right? And we see other bowls as well. Okay, this is a bowl of ice cream, right? This is a cone. These are just normal scoops. So instead of using this bowl, I could choose to use the normal scoops. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. All right. Now let's just adjust this a bit. Drag it down. All right. So let's say we've decided to not use we have decided to not use this format. Okay. So we're going with this instead. We're going with this instead. So what happens is, I already had a preset color for the design. Okay, but as it is, we only have, look at the picture that we have right now. Um, sorry, I'm gonna have to. I want the design to rhyme, so I have to adjust it. Okay, so but we already have like I said, I was saying something. I think I mentioned it in yesterday's session. that your there should be a uniformity. If you're using a picture, there should be a uniformity in between your picture and um and the remaining part of the design. So there shouldn't be too much if possible, have colors reflect. There should be like colors should reflect from the like the colors of the image that you're using should reflect in the design. Okay, so because of that, we're going to have to change the color. We already have a brown here. I'm thinking, do we use this? But this I think let's stick with this one. Okay, let's stick with this. All right, so let's use our color brown. So let's come here, and I'm gonna show us how to use a color picker. I'm gonna be showing us how to use a color picker. Um, nice. This is a nice opportunity to do that. So you come here. This is the color picker tool. Okay, and you bring it over to your design. Click on the brown color, and it automatically gives you that color. Okay, so that's the color of the font we're using, and that's the color we're using for the text. That's the color we're also going to be using for all other texts. All right, just to give it a bit of uniformity. All right, that's the color we're using. We might as well. They do have similar shades, so we can leave and since the background is faded, right? Um, transparent. We're already reduced the transparency. We can leave it if we want to. Okay, but the choice is yours. Ultimately, as a designer, the choice is ultimately yours. So you could choose to leave it, and you could choose to change the color. Okay, so let's say we're changing the color. Let's say we're changing the color. All right, so we've changed it. It doesn't seem to make that much of a difference. All right, so because we have reduced the transparency, it wouldn't change much. It wouldn't change much. Okay, so let's just correct these color for the text that we have. Okay, so we're correcting the colors. Okay, we're correcting one by one. All right, so um we have to ensure that we stick with the colors. We don't want to use too many colors. Okay, too many different colors will be distracting and most likely cause a confusion and diversification in your design, and you don't want that. Okay, I don't want that. Your viewers or the audience also doesn't want that. Okay, so but like I said, at the end of the day, you can always you can always you use your discretion at the end of the day as a designer. Okay, but there are some standard rules that like there's some basic rules of graphics design that you still have to follow in the end. All right, so um your imagination is the only thing that will limit you in this niche actually. So if your imagination is as big as or should I say as vast as the sea, then you're gonna do do so many amazing things. Okay, so um we're gonna be um you know using our text right about now. Okay, we're gonna be using our text right about now. Removing this nylon effect from here, so we can have access to our text. Okay, so you might be wondering, how did I achieve this love inside this? So we're gonna be replicating it. Okay, so let's come to text. We're gonna come to text. I hope we're seeing you're still following, and I hope it's not too confusing. Okay, so we're gonna come to text. Sorry, it's taking so long to load. The network is network has really been terrible this last couple of days. Okay, so click on text, and we have our text already. So we're not using it in this slide, we're using it in this one. Okay, so what we have is we're not using open sans, we're using font Montserrat. Okay, we're using Montserrat. So let's use Montserrat Classic. That's the font we're gonna be using, Montserrat Classic. Okay, so we want to design our first text now. Okay, love in every scoop. Now, I said something yesterday that there can be a billion ways of designing something. That's how funny, graphics design is. Like, I have my own way, right? Other people have theirs, right? It doesn't mean that yours doesn't work, and it doesn't mean that theirs doesn't work. As long as you can get your design to do what you want it to do, pass its message across, while still obeying the general rules, the fundamental rules of graphics design, you will be fine. Okay. So what I'm about to do, someone else can come and do it differently, right? But as long as you are achieving your goals, as long as you're achieving your goal in the design, that's the most important thing. Okay. So for this, we want to okay, we're changing the text. We're changing the text now. This color, this chocolate color doesn't really seem very bold, but let's see how it goes. Let's see how it turns out. All right, experimenting here. Okay, so let's see how it turns out. So love in every scoop. All right, so let's come here. No, we're not adding scoop. Okay, so we're stopping at love in every. All right, so delete scoop, so it's just love in every, and let's begin to adjust, shall we? um Font size that we used in the previous one, I think it was 50.7, so let's use font size 50.7. All right. um just to confirm, 50, okay, 50.5. Normally I would just duplicate it, right? I could just come down, click on it, because I already grouped it. Grouping is a thing as well. um so I can always right click on it and duplicate it, and it would duplicate whatever I want to duplicate. But this is not going to work because I'm trying to show us how to make use of the tool. All right. For you to duplicate, we also have keyboard shortcuts. So you hold down your alt key just like on Photoshop and Illustrator, and then you drag it, and that way you would have duplicated something. So hold down alt key, drag, okay, to duplicate. um Shortcut for duplication on Canva. All right. That's for Canva for laptop, by the way. If you're not using a laptop, you would have to long press it. If you're using Canva on phone, you would long press it, and then it would give you the, or once you click on it, you see the you see the this three dot, yeah, that says more, right? Click on it, you already have your duplicate and your delete. So if you need more options, you can click there, send to back, send to front, define as background, animate. We're not doing video editing for that, so let's just leave it at that. All right. So let's design our love in every scoop. All right. So we're gonna come here. um having to work really slowly because the network is really slow. Okay. So one thing you want to make sure of is you want to make sure there is aligned, like your work is well aligned. All right. So for me, I like to take the simplest route to things. So I'm just gonna add the love icon to it. I'm just gonna add it and add it to it. So there are two ways you can do it. You can search for love, right, and it will give you the love icon. Or you could go to your shapes. When you go to your shapes, you should be able to you should get a love shape. I think there should be love shapes. Okay, but we don't really have like let me see. You should be able to get love shapes actually. They're star shaped designs. There's different things, but you want something that you can easily edit and manipulate, that's already been pre-made, right? So just come to love, click on love. It will bring out the icon. So this is the icon we're using. All right, so we're using this particular icon. Okay, so what do? We want uniformity in our design to an extent. Okay, so we're using the same color as in the font. We could choose to use something else, however but you definitely can't use a light color. It will blend into the background, and that's not what you want, right? So you're using a darker color, and since we already have this chocolate, why don't we just proceed with it? Okay, so you shrink it down, you reduce the size so that it can fit into the text. Okay, this should be okay. And then you carry, okay, it's not gonna enter, it's still too big. All right, so I'm increasing this so that you can see very well what I'm gonna be doing. So I shrink this down so that it can fit easily in between L and V without exposing us. Okay, now um, click this. You can use your arrow keys on the keyboard to drag it down. It still seems too big though. It still seems too big. So we're gonna have to reduce it a little bit. Okay, reduce it a little more. So this is perfect. This looks perfect. If it's not enough, okay, we're gonna send this to the back. Like we're sending it to the back of the love. We're sending it to the back of the love, the love icon, so that we can easily click on it and not have issues. Okay, so I'm using my arrow keys on my keyboard right about now. Okay, so I drag it back, adjust it so it fits in well. It still seems a little bit awkward. Okay, yeah, adjust it a little bit to the right, to the left, bring it down. Yeah, it should be okay like this. Uh, let's okay. So now if we zoom out, we will be able to see whether it fits into our design or not. Okay, so okay, it works. It works. You might need to reduce it later. You might leave it like that, but this works. Okay. Um, the one I used for this other design. Okay, let me reduce it a little more. Okay, I think did we I don't think we have not corrected the font. Sorry, we have not corrected the font here. Okay, so let's use 50.7. Sorry, I missed that. Okay, how am I using 50.5? 50.5, sorry. So we're using 50.5. Right. Uh, uh yeah, yeah. So this is better, and we can always drag this, all right, and adjust it to fit in. Okay, too big, too much, a little bit. Oops. Okay, that should work. Okay, so you just adjust it to, give it some space. Don't let it be too close to one letter or the other. Okay, what we want it to do is we want it to blend in. Okay, and we don't want it to look as if uh we forced it right there, right? So we're just gonna go ahead and adjust it as much as possible. Okay, this works. This is okay. Yeah, so it aligns. That there's this blue line that shows that something has aligned, right? You might haven't seen it. Okay, so we have our love in every. We have one third of it. Okay, in every scoop. So for this, we could choose, to start from the scratch. Okay, for big title head um messages, right? There's different options in Canva. Doesn't mean if you use one, it's not gonna work, right? But there's just this fitting that comes with when you use a title head. Okay, but we don't have much time, so I'm just gonna duplicate, right? Right click on my alt key, then drag it down. Sorry, not right click. Press down my alt key, then drag it down. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag this from this design into this design. Okay, so that's another thing you can do on Canva. Canva for PC, mind you. If it's on a phone, you might not be able to do that. All right. So let's change the font as well. Let's change the font as well. Okay. Since we already have our chocolate ice cream, we might as well, make everything look chocolatey. So I'm a lover of ice cream anyway. So if I'm gonna design something about ice cream, it's gonna be top notch. So yeah, that aligns. Okay, but we're gonna have to close in the gap. But before we can do that, if we move this, it's not together. So if we move it, our design is gonna go to Costa Rica. Okay, and we don't want that. All right. So what we are gonna do is we'll go back. You can Control Z or just undo this undo button right here, and it's gonna take the design to the way it was before. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have a lot of Control Z to do. So what we want to do is we wanna make sure everything is well aligned. Okay, we discussed alignment yesterday in our class. Alignment is very, very important. Okay, sometimes Canva might show you that it's aligned, but deep down you're just going to know that, okay, this thing is not aligned enough, and you might have to make changes. You might have to make um you know some judgment calls. Okay, so to group something, you can press down your shift key on the keyboard. Okay, press down your shift, click on one thing, then you click on the other thing, and then you have your group option, and then you group. Okay, so that way when you move what you have grouped, especially when there are different things, you don't have to sorry, I grouped the background with it. uh okay. Are we still grouped? Okay, we're not grouped yet. Okay. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be very careful to select just the love emoji, then press on my shift, then click on the text as well. Okay, so we have only selected these two. Okay, and we're grouping it, right? So we have already grouped it. Now if I do carry this around, you wouldn't even know, right, that I just did that. Okay, so let's keep this down there like that. Now let's bring our third text. Okay, try out our triple flavored goodness today. This is what we're doing. So Like I said before, click down on your alt, press down on your alt key and drag. Okay. Surprisingly, this works on Photoshop. In fact, I did learn about it. Well, no, I did learn about it first on Photoshop. So the fact that I did use Canva for a long time. Okay. It works on Canva as well. So you drag it to reducing, zooming out. Okay. And then we're dragging it into our design. Okay, we don't have much time to design everything from the scratch. Okay, so yeah, so let's do this. Okay, change the color. We're gonna change the color. We're changing the color, and once we already do that, we're gonna start aligning. Okay, we've grouped this together. So what we need to do is zoom in so we can see it. Okay, so we're gonna okay, we see that our image is causing us quite some trouble. Okay, so what we do is we can reduce the image, reduced it, gotten it under control. We can see that it's blocking blocking our call to action. So you can either choose to reduce it. If you do reduce it, it's probably gonna work, but you know and you could also choose to not use the entirety of the image, right? You don't necessarily have to use the entirety of an image when you're designing. You can choose to use just half of it. You can choose to use just half of it if using the entirety is not going to be fine. So it depends on your discretion. Actually, you're the designer, you're the boss, you're in charge. You decide what your design comes out looking like. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're aligning. We want it to line up with this design. Okay, so now it looks more aligned than and let's not forget about spacing. Spacing is very important in your design. You want to ensure that um you give it you don't give it too much space. There isn't too much space in between. Like look at the space in between the third message, right? In between about goodness and scoop. We want to make sure like we have equally we have an equal amount of space right there. We don't want it to be too close because obviously it's an independent um it's a message, like it's equally important, but we don't want it too cramped, and we don't want it with too much space. Okay, so it says love in every scoop. Now we can see that scoop is the one that is giving the weight, and this is where hacking comes in. Okay, so scoop is the message that we're trying to emphasize on. Okay, we are trying to emphasize on the message that okay, try out our triple flavored goodness today, and our scoops are exciting. They are top notch. They're the dream. Their dreams come true for every ice cream lover. And we have actual scoops, representing that message. So here's where visual eye most easily recognized, followed by our scoop. We have that now. We have that now. So what else is left? Uh, I think we need to add our our logo to it right now. I think once we do that, we're gonna be fine. Um, we're gonna be ready to go with our design. Okay. Sorry once again that it's really slow. The network. That's one thing about using that's one thing about using Canva. If the network is not good, it's most likely gonna slow down your productivity. Okay, and you might just want to do something fast, and you just want to do something quickly. So you have to be mindful of that. That's another factor to use. Okay, so as usual, what are we doing? Like I said, I already pre-designed the logo. I used a font. Okay, the font I used was one little font. I know it's gonna be a food enterprise, so I searched for something that is easily designed. So I added I went to elements and I searched for ice cream scoop, and then it gave me this element here. And my mouse is okay. So let me increase it a little bit so we can see better. Right. So um give me the ice cream element. If you can see, they're grouped together. Okay, so um it gave me this element, right? So I just joined the letter. The thing with Canva is you can't do much of image manipulation, or should I say manipulation generally. It doesn't give room for manipulation. If it was on like Adobe Illustrator, I could take this ice cream scoop and sort of just get it to conform with the O, right? But for now, we're just gonna stick with, this. Okay, this works too. All right. So um that doesn't mean you can't do logo design with Canva. By the way, you can do logo design with Canva, but it's probably not going to give you a very professional effect, especially with areas pertaining to mockup and stuff. So I'm not going to use to duplicate this now. I'm not going to use my keyboard shortcut because I want to show us. So I'm going to right click on it and click on duplicate, and we have our duplicated um you know but dragging it up and down is beginning to be a little bit too stressful. So I right click and I click on copy. So now for Canva you can copy and paste between slides. Okay, so I come here, I copy it, and I'm going to paste. And fortunately, if it's a design where you know you want, let's say you're making a carousel, and you want or you're making three different flyers for the same client, and you want the logo, you want the alignment and everything to be in the same place. Okay, you can always, like, you can trust your copy and paste to do the job for you. So you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Immediately I click on paste, right? It is gonna paste it exactly where it was in the former design. Are you ready? Go. So um we can see now. If I zoom out, we're gonna see that it pasted it in exactly the same place where the other one was. Okay, can we see now? This was the one I right clicked and I copied, right? And if we scroll up, we see that's the same thing. Okay, so um copy and paste is actually very, very useful. It's very, very useful. So it copies in the exact location that it is, and it duplicates it, it pastes it in the slide of your choice, to avoid you having to, battle with all these measurements and alignment struggles. Once you've gotten it right once, why do it over so many times if you can't maintain order? So order and structure is very important in graphics design. Okay, so you want to maintain order and structure. Okay, so that that that's it. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to um change the colors, right? Give it that chocolatey color. Now I grouped three elements together. Okay, so what we're going to do is I want to show us another way to group elements in Canva. Okay, so what you can do is you just drag, right? Click. Okay, no, you might not necessarily click on your canvas, but you just click and drag. Okay, so you can see as I drag, every of the highlighted things are gonna be brought together, and they can easily be grouped. Okay, so now that I have grouped it, I'm gonna click on group. Okay, it's gonna mean that if I drag this, everything's gonna go. What I mean, okay. um you can see that as I clicked on one, if I attempt to drag it, everything is gonna go. That's what we want. Okay, so we're gonna undo that. So for me to group more precisely, I click on it, I click on the object, right? Right, I press down my shift button on my keyboard, click on the second thing, then I click on the third as well. And I can right click, click on group, or at the top right corner, you see your group and ungroup options. Okay, so I believe we're done with this design. For spacing, you can decide that okay, I don't want the spacing to be bogus. I don't want spacing to be weird, right? So you can say, okay, the same amount of spacing that is in the lower half is what I want in my upper half. There are many ways to achieve this. Okay, all right. So you could always use a line. You could use a line like, and there's borderline. There's actually a borderline option in in Canva. Sorry, I didn't use that earlier, but it is always important to draw your borderlines. I have just gotten used to it. Okay. Let me give us a quick example. But if you're when it gets to a stage where you might not really need a borderline, okay, it's when you're being really really particular um about spacing. Okay, that's when you might need to use borderlines. But if you're not really particular about it, you could always choose to leave it. Okay, you could choose to leave it. You could choose to go with it. But for me, I most times I don't use it. I don't use the borderlines, because I just I just once I just go straight into my design. I look at the things I'm working on, and I'm like, okay, how am I doing it? Do you understand? So I basically just keep it memorized, keep it up here. But you're gonna need you're gonna need to use the borderlines. All right. And those are fortunately those the option is here. The option is here in Canva. Okay. I'm sorry I'm not able to show us all the applications of the Canva app. All right. But I'm trying to show us how to use the borderline. Okay. It's been quite a while that I used Canva. Okay. So um I like I said, you could choose to use just normal lines. Okay, but that's probably not gonna be effective. It's probably not gonna be effective. So uh you I said something about um there's different ways. There can be different approaches to things. Okay, as a designer, you could use a different approach. Okay, you can use a different approach to things. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to go one way because this person does it this way. Okay, there are so many other ways of achieving something that someone has achieved. Okay, so it's it's you just have to be creative. You just have to be creative in your design. All right. So a a more a more um how do I put it, a more high feeling, or should I say, that makes it look like okay. So I'm gonna just go up to one of my former designs, and I'm gonna copy this effect. Okay, so this is like a nylon effect. I just like it, especially when I'm doing things like this, because it just gives you a design that that look like what's going on with this design. Okay, you just see that you're like, well, that's different. It makes it look as if there's a nylon on top of it. You can choose to use it, and you could choose to not use it. Okay, you could choose to use it and not. Whichever one you want to use. Okay. Whichever thing you want to do, whichever thing you want to do. Um, you're free to do it. I think I reduced the transparency. So if I increase the transparency, you can see that it's actually a full-fledged nylon. So I'm just gonna reduce the transparency so it doesn't look too strange. Okay. So when we adjust it, increase zoom in to see that it is not affecting the edges. Okay. So there you have it. There you have it. Okay. So I don't know. I just use this for like, you know, when I'm designing, I love to have fun. Okay, sorry. So just be free to explore, be free to do things that you might not necessarily have to do things that you might not necessarily um have done. Okay, because you're following a strict rule. Okay, so there's a lot of, even despite the fact that Canva is limited, there's a lot of practicality to it. All right. So um this we have come to the end of our design. I just want to show us other things that we can do on Canva. Okay. So we have filters to change, like the filters of, there's so many useful things that you can literally change the color of something. Okay, so let's say you wanna change the color of a particular thing. Okay, you can change the color. You have mock-ups. You can add shadows to things. You can use um you know you can use effects. Okay, you can use frames as well. So you can also blur things. You can blur things. Okay, so whichever one you choose to use, whichever one you choose, whichever method you choose to go by, as long as, like I said, there's basic rules of graphics design, that you have to follow, but keep those rules. And sometimes rules are meant to be broken, there I say. Okay, so but as long as, let your work speak for you. Let your work speak for you. Anyone that sees my work will know that, okay, I'm sort of I'm sort of someone that likes to explore. I like to, do things like people normally usually wouldn't do. Okay, so whatever works for you. That's the most important thing. All right. There's basic rules like alignment and adjustment, and you see that my image is to the right, just like I said yesterday, and my text call to action to the left. My logo is in the middle. I love placing logos in the middle. You can be on the left side, you can be on the right side, whichever one works for you. So that whatever it is well done and it is well executed. Okay, make sure that you master the basics, because the basics end up really being important. All right, so we're gonna save it now. We're gonna save it so we can download it and share it. All right, so I'm gonna be downloading this, and then I'm gonna be sharing it. I might post it on my social media, but you can do well to, if you followed this class and you learned something, or you were following me as I did the design, you could always design yours, text me, should I say chat me up, or tag me. If you post it on um on social media, you could tag me. All right, tag me on Instagram to your post. I'm gonna reply and like it. And if you need tips, if you're trying to replicate this and you need tips, you can always reach out to me, and I'm definitely gonna show. Okay, so we want to download just this page. Okay, we're only downloading page 14. Okay, So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up. There's options, there's download options in Canva actually for the page you want to download. So we're not downloading all the pages. So we're only downloading the present page. Okay, so you click on it and there you have it. Okay, so like I said, I'm using like pro version. So I have this, I could compress the quality, I could remove the background if I wanted, but I'm not doing that. And also it's better to send your files to clients in PNG form. Okay. But even if you're not sending, you can always save in PNG form as well. You could choose to save as a JPEG, it's fine. Okay. But PNG just just keeps that quality there intact. And we're gonna put posting on Instagram and you want to post, you want your post to bank, you want it to be high definition. Okay. So you could always save it. You can there's different sizes you can save from. I don't know. I've never tried saving in size 10 because that would just be madness. Except maybe you're displaying on a 3D TV or something. You don't need a size 10. 2.53 is all right. Okay. But so we're going to click on download. And, depending on how fast or slow your network is, it's going to download. It's going to download where you can see our download, to monitor our download progress here. All right. So it's downloading, it's downloading, it's downloading. And to save on the system, is going to bring out a prompt what you want to use to save it. Okay. So like I said, the network is a really, really big factor. It's a huge factor. Okay. So we're going to save it as hot rock. Okay, hot rock. Okay. So saving in my downloads. So when I need it, I could always go to my downloads and get it from there. All right. So I believe we have learned something, one or two things from here. If if you enjoyed this session, please do well to text me. You can tag me on Instagram, right? At band listener, right? That's my Instagram page. You can chat me up on Twitter as well. Okay. So you could this is my social media handle, right? So you can chat me up. You can text me on WhatsApp as well. Okay, if you need pointers, if you need to ask any questions, I have my email address as well. You can text me, chat, send me an email. I'm gonna reply you and I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna text you back. I'm definitely gonna text you back. So that will be that on today's episode. Thank you very much for joining me and for joining us in this session. I hope you enjoyed the session and I hope you were able to learn something from it one way or the other. Thank you so much. I'm gonna be handing over to Deborah, to Ibukun. Yes, so that we can proceed. So thank you very much, everyone.
Hello, hello, hello. Super love the session. And actually nothing short of amazing. I love the
I
whole
can't
process
I can't
and I
hear
love
you. I
that we
can't hear
actually
you. Your mic is muted. Are you sure? Because I can't hear
can you
you.
hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, I can now. I can now.
Okay. Yeah, so I said for me, the session was nothing short of amazing. I love the whole process, and I love the fact that we actually put into practice everything that we taught yesterday. I love the step by step approach which you use from the logo to the font to bringing in necessary pictures to making them align to bringing in the background, the texture, the fade, the contrast, and everything. I really really loved the whole process, and I love the fact that you also said you love and you enjoy designing, and I think that is also a very very important aspect. When you are designing, just express yourself, just enjoy the process. don't be too rigid towards it, and then don't see it as a boring thing. Just see it as an avenue for you to just express yourself and for you to just um do you or just be you, right? And then I love the fact that you also said that there is no rule to what you would design. There's no rule that okay, there is no formula. You just need to be creative. Nonetheless, you need to put into practice or you need to put into consideration the necessary things like your color blend, your background, your alignment, and all that. And just express yourself and just try to create something that will be unique and great. And as you were designing, like my mouth was already salivating. Relate to drinking ice cream, and I want to believe that nearly everybody's mouth also salivated. I really enjoyed the session, and I'm very sure that every other person who did enjoy. Now, this is it. Make sure you go practice. Don't just watch this video and leave. Make sure you go practice. And if you have questions, as our speaker said, please do well to send. You can send to the group and we pass across to him, or you send a message directly to him on Instagram at Band Designer. I'm going to put that in the comment section for you to see. And please make sure you practice. Okay, that's we come to the end of today's session. It was so amazing. We've done day 2 of our graphic design training. We started with social media management. We went on to personal and business branding. We went on to video editing or video creation, and now we are done with graphic design. And the last is LinkedIn optimization, and that will come up next week Wednesday. Do stay tuned for more information on our programs. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are to make sure you put on your notification button to get notified when new videos come up. Do well to follow us on our social media handles, IG at Redefined Teens and Facebook at Redefined Teens. If you'd like to join our WhatsApp group, do well to send a message to the number right there at in the comment section. Right, and it's been a nice time. I forget this. Okay, it's been a nice time answering this, and thanks to all our facilitators so far. And we're definitely going to have a more amazing time. Do have a great night, happy weekend, and do enjoy. Ciao, ciao. And yeah, on the last note, on behalf of the youths, on behalf of the HESCOs, and on behalf of the founder, we need to appreciate our facilitator, Mr. Apotierioluwa Owoade, OAU gang people, okay? And we actually have appreciate you pouring the value into us, and I am sure that you have definitely sown the seed that people definitely work on and they would actually remember you for. Thank you so much. God bless and wish you the very best in your future endeavors. All right, so see you guys in the next skills conference. Stay tuned. Bye.